Alright guys, quick video. I'm gonna try not to ruin it with my Carolina accent. One of the big reasons I wanted to upgrade my unit was, one, the screen was super tiny, about this size right here, 2015. Also, this little touchpad is terrible. I mean, it's better than nothing considering how far away the screen is. But it's really laggy, and putting in addresses and things like that, I always put the wrong letter in because it was always about a second or 2 seconds behind. It's really frustrating. So, along with the bigger screen, now it's a touch screen, but I still have a problem with that because, you know, even in a relaxed position or an upright on the wheel driving position, it's just still too far away to touch comfortably. So I had a theory with the two USB wires. I just left them out accessible because I wanted to experiment a little, but I plugged in a USB mouse and it is just perfect. So I'm sure I can get a better mouse. This is just one I had laying around, but so USB mouse plugged in, just it turns on when you fold it. You got a nice little mouse pad right here. And now you have a pointer. I don't know if you can see it from there, but I can. Right about there. Okay. So it makes navigating a lot easier. But just to give you an idea, just doing this with the mouse pad, a lot easier. Now I'm going to use the touchpad and show you how frustrating it is. I'm moving it, but it kind of jumps around a little. It's limited by the touchpad, not really the Android unit. If I hit the back button, you know, you can only select kind of an up, down, left, right. Oh, and I didn't even mean to do that. That just happened. So one reason I hate that touchpad. But the mouse makes things a lot easier. And, you know, it's one of those, you set something going before you leave, and you don't really need to whip the mouse out while you're driving. And if you have to, you can always just reach up and touch the screen, which is fine. It's just I don't want to do it all the time. Also, if you want to go back to the standard OEM, you just go here to this car menu, and it goes back to everything. You see where I live there, don't pay any attention. It goes back to everything like it normally does. So, and if you just want to go back to the Android unit, you just touch the display or use the mouse click to pretend like you're touching the display, and it goes back here. So it works like an Android unit. I mean, if you know Android, you know how it works. You know, YouTube. Let's see, circle button goes back. You got your normal apps. Not many apps factory installed, so no bloatware. There's a few things I want to touch on that I think can be addressed in an update. So last night I noticed that the brightness was too bright driving around. Even when you turn the headlights on, it does darken, but it just seemed a little bit brighter than it needed to be, even at the darkest setting. So maybe there's an update where they can make you dim it even more. Let's see, what else? It's pretty cool. It shows you how much fuel you have. I don't know how to change that because I don't think in milliliters, but if I lock the door, everything works works there. Seat belts work. Handbrake works. That's pretty cool. I've talked to the representative about if you can change the picture, and that's something they have to do in-house. So maybe in the future, because I don't have a white RCF. What else? Okay, so the navigation, you got 3 options for navigation the way I see it. So you have your original nav, which you do have to use. You have to use the touchpad on this screen, because if you touch the screen in any other way, it goes back to the Android. So you have the factory navigation, which works on its own, nothing changed. Works just how it's supposed to. Okay. Now, we go back to the Android unit, and the navigation that's built in is something I'm not familiar with. Well, I changed it last night because, again, I'm not familiar with it. Let's see, let me show you. Sigic. I don't know what this is. It's one of those, I got used to Google Maps, so this to me is alien. I haven't really given it much of a testing, but so this works without the internet. It has the maps stored in the unit. You don't need to Wi-Fi tether it or anything like that. It works on its own. So that's a plus. I guess that's technically better than the factory, but the one thing I've noticed with this does not read street names as far as I can tell. It's going to say in 100 meters turn left, in a mile turn right. To me, I don't like that. I want to know where I'm turning. Obviously it'll pop up and tell you, but you also, let's see if it'll do it. Yeah, you also have Google Maps, which does require a tether to get the internet to work. So let's see. I'm just gonna go off the screen for a second. I haven't spoiled it yet. Hang on. Alright. So right now I'm in my driveway and I have a little bit of Wi-Fi from my house. And that's how this is able to work. So I haven't tested this on the road yet, mainly because I didn't want to tether it yet. I wanted to see what I can do without tethering the phone, because this is a standalone unit. It doesn't have service. It's not evident to me that you can add service. There was no SIM card port that I could find. So if you wanted to try and get service on it, I don't know how you'd do that. So it's going to be tethered to your phone. So Google Maps should technically work as it's supposed to. It's just you have to connect it to your phone. But I mean, that's 3 navigation options right there built into the unit. Now you can always get Waze and those other ones, but those are less familiar to me. Like I said, I pretty much grew up around Google Maps, so even Waze ticks me off. It's not familiar to me. Anywho, what else? Okay, so you kind of have a cool gauge thing here. Nothing special. It looks neat. It's a little bit laggy. really, it's neat, but I mean, it's just telling you your RPM and your speed. I got that over here. So maybe a torque app would be cool. I'm going to try that later. Let's see. So I don't have any files or anything installed for video, but it's there. Not now. But you can see here how I'm clicking around. The mouse really does help. It's a lot faster than poking the screen, getting fingerprints all over the screen. And that's one thing you can see on the camera, is there is a little bit of glare. I don't know what they make out there, but I'm sure there's a screen film or something that's anti-glare, because there is a little bit of glare. Let's see. Okay, backup camera and stuff like that. Let's show you that. So the backup camera works as intended, how it's supposed to. Everything works there. You can set it where it mutes the sound, or it doesn't bother the sound at all when you go into reverse. I don't have a front-facing camera yet, but I think the option is in there for a front camera. Any cool apps in here? Just your normal stuff. So Easy Connect, I haven't messed with it yet. I've never used Easy Connect. I'll try that later. I got to make sure I can use it on my phone for one. I got to make sure the wire I have is compatible. I don't know. I've never used it. I don't have an Apple. I have an Android. I got a Note 10. So don't know if it'll work or not. We'll try it. One more gripe. Let's see. You go down. So this is kind of your screen, your usable screen on the left, divided here, and on the right is kind of just like a little heads-up display or whatever. You can't. There's really no buttons over here. It looks like there are, but there's not. Now that changes obviously when you change the page, but for this menu, the home screen, this is your usable area on the left. But over here you have these three little options. You have your car info, your air conditioning, and music. I guess that would be stored music. I don't know. It's kind of useless. I don't have stored music. I'm probably gonna go off of YouTube. I download playlists off of YouTube here at the house. You know, it takes 15 minutes to download 200 songs, and I go. And you can listen to it with or without the video playing on the screen. So that's what I was doing earlier, just to. So yeah, I know I have interesting taste. So you can have the video playing in the background and still hear the music from it, but that's not affected by these buttons here. I think those are for files. Here's your AC display. It can sit there at all times. It works, I suppose. Not really. It says, I noticed last night, if it's on low, it'll say low up there. But if it's on anything above low, 60, -40, that's, I don't know. I wish my air conditioning could do it -40. All the way up to high, and now it says high. So I don't know, the number gradient doesn't work, but hell, if you're using air conditioning, come on, you're on low anyway, right? I mean, it was 100 degrees outside. yesterday. I'm going to use whatever AC I can get. So all the other buttons do work. You hit this button, it displays there like normal. The dual, the auto, so everything displays properly. All right, okay, I'll go back down. But you can't interact with it. It's just a display. So there's that. Anything else? Well, there's another thing. So apparently for like notifications that are privy to only the Android unit. So I'm trying to think of an example, but so the navigation that's built into the unit, it displays off of it projects off of a speaker off of the unit, which is behind the unit, a standalone speaker. It doesn't play over the speakers in the car, but obviously the unit plays other things over the car speakers. So I don't know. I haven't figured it out everything yet, but some things play over the little tiny speaker, and most of the things play over the car speakers. Haven't figured that one out yet. What does, what doesn't. So speakerphone, if you want to make a call, talk on the car phone, it comes with a really long microphone cable, and I really didn't want to use it, but I also didn't want to install this thing and find out it didn't work without it. So I installed it. It comes through here under the cluster, goes through here. This is my lucky pony. It comes all the way up here, and I've got it tucked right here. So kind of out of the way, you don't see it. I had to pull this panel off and everything and route it, so it wouldn't be in the way of the airbag. But it's there. I've already made a call on it. It works. They didn't complain about the noise. But that's another thing. You can Bluetooth to. You got to look at this as two separate devices. You have the Android unit, and you have your factory unit. It's both in one. So, like I said, at any time I can come over here. I can go to the car. Where's my mouse? There it is. I can go to so now I have this. So this is a separate unit. So if your phone is Bluetoothed to this, it's not connected to the other one. Does that make sense? So over here under phone, which I got, if you go there, it's not connected to anything. But if I go here, it's connected here to this unit, or vice versa. So I haven't tested it if you can Bluetooth to the other one and use that one strictly for phone calls. I don't know why I would. But it's kind of like a 2-in-1. You got two radios in the same unit. One thing about your radio, speaking of, so if I go to radio down here, I got static because nothing's programmed in because it got unplugged. But to hear this unit, to hear it, you need to go to this unit. Alright, so let me just, there we go. Alright, so Now that's another thing. Yes, all the buttons work. I can hit the buttons. Everything's working. But the point I'm making is, to hear the Android unit, you have to change the source. So the source is your auxiliary port. See how you got, it's just, you all of a sudden you started hearing the Android unit. So that's how that works. So to go back to the Android, we just touch the screen, and here we go. All right. Again, forgive my accent, but there is the 10.3-inch, I think, Android unit. And damn, that was a long video. Bye, guys.